Hello, Pokemon trainers! Welcome back to another TCG Pocket video here on iStarLeague TV. Today I'm featuring a brand new deck, kind of, from the new Space-Time Smackdown set. And this is a deck that is not particularly new, however, I'm trying something that is a little crazy and is kind of new, regardless of the set. I don't know what I'm saying. Point is, this is a Celebi EX deck, which again is not new. Celebi has been so good since it was released in Mythical Island. But if you'll notice, we are not playing Serperior in this deck. Typically, of course, the Celebi deck would play Serperior because Serperior is a really, really strong combo with Celebi. Serperior is still a stronger combo with Celebi than this deck. But the biggest problem with the Serperior deck is, of course, the fact that Serperior is a Stage 2 evolution, which means you need to have Snivy as early as possible, and then you need to draw Servine, and then you need to draw Serperior, and you need to have those all on time in order to function optimally. If you do that, your deck is really powerful because your Celebi is able to flip like 6 coins, and if your opponent just has 100 HP, you're very likely to kill them if you're flipping 6 coins, and then you get to a point where you flip a crazy amount of coins, like 10 coins, at which point you're likely to kill almost anything in the meta. But again, it takes a lot of setup, so I wanted to build a Celebi deck that did not require that much setup. Of course, this means that this deck is not quite as explosive, but let's just go ahead and talk about the card choices. So we're playing 2 copies of Execute and 2 copies of Exeggutor EX. I know some versions of the Serperior version of this deck played 1 copy of Exeggutor EX and like 1 copy of the Mythical Island Exeggutor that had 4 energies and like did 80 damage, did a lot of damage. But that card was obviously better with Serperior. So since we're not playing Serperior, Exeggutor EX is just a really strong card. It has a high amount of HP. It's only a stage 1. And it can do pretty consistent damage for just 1 energy, and sometimes it can do a lot of damage for just a single energy. Celebi EX is the main card in the deck, so obviously we're playing 2. I'm playing 1 copy of Mew EX, and I'm not certain about this card. There have been times where it's been a little clunky. I've had some really funny games where my opponent can see that I have grass energy in my deck, and then my first plays are Mew and Spiritomb, so it's kind of funny that we get to play like all these different types of Pokemon in a grass deck. Mew just feels like something of a necessary card, like as a one-of. I mean, it's kind of like a free card in like any deck. It's really tanky for a basic, and it can attack. Genome hacking can do a lot of damage potentially for colorless energy. So that's a big deal. Again, you can play Mew in just about any deck. And of course, with Budding Expeditioner, you can also just, you can ignore that retreat cost, although the retreat cost is also really, really small. And Mew is really good in this meta because of cards like Palkia EX, of course Charizard EX, and really most any EX. I mean, sure, there are some EXs where you're not going to kill them in one shot if you use genome hacking, but again, cards like Charizard and Palkia that can just blast through the rest of your team, you can just come in with Mew after they kill one of your Pokemon and just knock them out not for free, but you get to knock them out, without having to discard energies or whatever the case. So that's pretty strong. And the last Pokemon in the deck is actually Spiritomb. Now, this is a weird one, right? Spiritomb requires colorless energy as well to attack. It only requires 1, and it only has 1 retreat cost. So Spiritomb is nice for just kind of grinding out small amounts of damage early. It damages everything in the opponent's side, and it can knock out things like Magikarp over the course of a few turns, maybe if they get unlucky and they never draw Gyarados. It also combos with a card that we're also playing, Cyrus. We'll just skip ahead to that. With which, if you put if you put damage on all of their Pokemon, then you can use Cyrus to pull in one of their Pokemon of your choice, and then you can like switch, like retreat into something like Celebi or Exeggutor to knock them out. So if they're trying to set up like a really good Pokemon on the bench and it's not fully evolved yet, you can early game do some damage to it with Spiritomb, and then maybe the next turn, like I said, you Cyrus it into play and then knock it out with one of your big hitters. Then we're playing 2 Pokeball. We're playing 1 copy of Giant Cape. This is just good for like prolonging Spiritomb's lifespan. It also lets Celebi survive some pretty important attacks in the meta. Things that do 130 or 140 damage, or if a Pokemon has can do 120 damage and you're worried that they might have a Giovanni. Giant Cape can be really clutch for Celebi, but also it makes Exeggutor even more tanky and even harder to kill. And then making Spiritomb have 100 HP can also be really relevant. So yeah, Cape is pretty good. We have double Research, unsurprisingly. We have 1 copy of Expeditioner. We talked about that, you know, just 1 copy is what we can fit in the deck. Then I have 1 copy of Leaf. This is where we start to kind of run out of slots. Like, you can maybe make a cut from one of these cards and maybe play like an X speed, because a lot of our Pokemon don't have that high of retreat costs. I guess Exeggutor is really the only one that does. So I think Leaf is good because we're playing Exeggutor, and if you use Leaf and you have to retreat a 1 energy Pokemon, or a 1 retreat cost Pokemon, it's not that big of a deal. And then, again, double Cyrus. Like I said, Cyrus combos with Spiritomb really well. And then finally, we have 2 copies of Dawn. This is the other card in the deck. Really kind of the main card in the deck that also helps facilitate Celebi EX without Serperior. So a Dawn lets you move 1 energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active. So maybe in the early game, you maybe put an energy on Spiritomb, put an energy on Exeggutor to do some damage, and then eventually you retreat them. You know, they're on the bench with some energy on them, and then you bring in your Celebi, and you can pull one of their energies onto Celebi. Of course, Celebi is at its best when it has a lot of energy on it, so this just kind of facilitates something like that. So that's the deck. No Serperior, Celebi EX. Let's go ahead and get to some games and see how good we can do without Serperior. We found a match here. Nice emblems for my opponent. What emblems are you rocking? Let me know in the comments what emblems you are rocking on your profile in this game. As you can see, I have the Mew emblem and then the 2 Mythical Island battling emblems. All right, this is a pretty interesting start, we'll say. I might just, well, we're going first, so my opponent gets to put energies first. I kind of want to lead Celebi. Can we see what, oh, they're a fire deck. Okay. I think I'm going to lead Spiritomb then. Set up our bench. And I'll hold for now. I typically don't like to fill up my bench right away, unless I'm playing like Pikachu EX. I tend to like want to be patient with filling up my bench. Because if I draw Mew and then I draw like Expeditioner, I would want the Mew in play. Alright, this first turn, we can't do anything, we'll just pass. And similarly, I like to hold on to these tool cards until I know that I want or need them. Like, if I can imagine a situation where... Because if I put it on Spiritomb right now, then there might be a situation later where I really wish I had it on Celebi, so I just want to wait. Especially since this Moltres is not going to be doing damage to us for a while. And of course, they put something into play, yeah. This is a rough start for us simply because we... it's funny to say that, but we won the coin flip, so we get to go first, which is actually a drawback here. Because my opponent gets to put the energy first. Hurry up. Tails, tails, tails? Okay, of course not. Oh, okay. Okay, we get it. So, if they have like X speed, they could actually attack us next turn. There's the Mew. We'll go ahead and play that now. Swirling Disaster feels really bad here. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and set up Celebi. Okay, so Heat Blast would do, just kind of thinking far ahead here, Heat Blast would do 90 to Celebi. So I don't think putting a cape on Celebi really changes anything. Celebi would still die to 2 Heat Blasts. So I'm going to go ahead and play Spiritomb here, because something that they could do is if they do switch into their benched Moltres this turn, they could theoretically play Giovanni. Like, it could work out where maybe if they have X speed, they get to go X speed into their Moltres and then put an energy on their Moltres and then use Heat Blast. But if they have Giovanni, they could actually kill my Spiritomb. And I want to take as many turns as possible to set up Celebi. However, that is going to be significantly hampered here, given that my opponent just put a Chimchar on the bench. So if they start setting up that could be a nightmare. But they're actually going to do what I said. They're going to switch into their benched Moltres and then probably go for Heat Blast, which I'm fine with. This is going to probably require some luck for us to win this game because we are against our weakness. I could start setting up Mew. But Mew just doesn't do that much damage. Like, even if we use genome hacking, It would only do against Moltres. It would only do 70. It would only be a 2-hit KO. Oh wow, that's oh never mind. Okay, I thought they put that on Moltres because that would be kind of annoying. Of course, I could have gone for Swirling Disaster last turn, but I felt like since they had 2 EXs in play, like I'm so far away from ever killing those things that I would rather just set up my Celebi as much as possible. All right, we draw Executor, which is not bad. That's actually something I might want to put an energy on at some point. Let's go ahead and put an energy on Celebi and pass. If we get extremely lucky, Celebi can kill Moltres next turn, but of course that's extremely unlikely to happen. What I might end up doing then... no, I think I'll go into... well, they're close to Infernape. We might be cooked here. Because, I mean... if they have Infernape in hand, which I think is pretty likely, they can just win the game, like, pretty easily. I think that means we have to... oh. I mean, let's see. The funny and terrible thing is Infernape can kill any of these Pokemon. So what do we do here? I think I lose. I think I lose no matter what. I'm gonna go Celebi here. I'm assuming they have Infernape in their hand, so we're probably dead. I'll just do this just in case. Although actually I don't think I don't have any more Pokemon. Oops. It doesn't matter. Yeah, if they have Infernape, we lose. Plus, if I get any tails, I mean, we're also pretty far behind. We got 2 heads, which is not too bad. But they're going to Infernape, and then they can easily just retreat, go into Infernape, and then go for Flare Blitz and kill me. And like I said, Flare Blitz would have killed this. I guess with that giant cape, if I had thought like super far ahead, if I had played to all of my outs, there's a world where I could put the giant cape on Executor, and Executor would survive Infernape's attack. Yeah, there it is. Executor would survive Infernape's attack, then I would do 80 damage to them, which is, or I might do 80 damage to them. Yeah, we're dead. I might do 80 damage to them, and then, what am I trying to say here? And then it just kind of puts pressure on Infernape, because then there's a world where maybe we could, like, if we draw well, we could, like, retreat into Celebi, which could possibly kill Infernape in one hit. I don't know. That was just a really rough situation all around. I mean, we played against our weakness. That's how it's going to go sometimes. You know, it was a funny start, and that is a situation where Spiritomb looked not great, because they had 2 EX Pokemon in play. So 10 damage to both of them is not going to do anything. All right, we go first once again, which, as we saw with the last game, could be a big downside. All right, this time around we have 3 options to start, all of which are pretty decent. We're against a water deck. I mean, given that it's a water deck, they could have Magikarp, so it's possible we want to play this to try to kill Magikarp. But honestly, no, I'm just going to do this. Because, like, yes, we could potentially kill Magikarp over the course of a few turns, but since we're going we're putting energy on our Pokemon second, like, we're just so far away from being able to do that. So I would just rather do as much damage as possible as soon as I'm able to put energies on my Pokemon. This Eevee does not run the risk of knocking out my Executor, so I'm just going to go ahead, or my Execute. I'm just going to go ahead and, we drew Celebi, that's nice. Going to go ahead and just pass here, and then next turn we can just do a lot of damage out of nowhere. And then potentially put that cape on Executor. We'll see. My deck looks really funny though, like Psychic, Dark, Grass. There's Palkia. Luckily they don't have Manaphy to start, but of course Misty. I mean, these water decks have so many ways to accelerate their energies these days. They have Manaphy, they have Misty, they have Vaporeon. It is pretty insane. Okay, nice. That is good for us. I mean, we have the combo with Spiritomb and Cyrus, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I don't think there's a reason for me to not do this. And at the moment, I don't feel the need to put the cape on this, because if I put the cape on this and then they evolve into Starmie, it kills me in 2 hits anyway, so I might as well save the cape for now. And let's just go ahead and swing, see what happens. Nice. There we go. Get a nice little knockout right away. Honestly, I might start putting energy on Mew. Because Mew can one-shot Palkia. Oh, maybe... We might not get to a situation where that's going to matter. Mew can one-shot Palkia. And then it can two-shot Starmie. And, I mean, Starmie would also try to two-shot it. Okay, there's them. Oh, ooh, this could be bad. Although if they Misty, the max they're doing is 150. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Okay. We got lucky with the flip. They got unlucky. We'll take it. I still don't think I'm going to... cape the Exeggutor. I'm just gonna Pokeball just to get another basic Pokemon out of our deck. Okay, now the question is, where do I put this energy? I could put it on Mew, but there's a chance that by the time we go into Mew, like by the time we have 3 energy on Mew, it's possible Palkia's already dead. Although if Palkia's dead by that point, we win the game, right? I think I'm putting it on Celebi. Celebi has potential for more damage. We're definitely not caping this turn, because if they Misty again and get two energies on Palkia, they get to kill me anyway, whether I have cape or not. So we're just going to go ahead and do this. And win the flip again. I'm going to call this luck, given that we kind of got unlucky in the last game. Where first of all, we got paired against the fire deck, and second of all, you know, we lost the coin flip, or won the coin flip. I don't know. That's not really something to complain about, but what does this do again? Oh wow, 80 damage for 1 energy. They could have another Misty here. And if they do, they kill Exeggutor. Wow, okay. So if we get lucky with yet another flip, we do win the game here. I am just going to research because we have no reason to Dawn, or I mean, we cannot Cyrus here. Cyrus is also awesome though, because if they had retreated Palkia, we could just Cyrus it back into play. So yeah, let's keep loading up this Celebi. And of course, we're just going to attack. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I ever want to put this cape in play, but I don't. Okay, you can't win them all, right? But well, now what they're going to do, I think we're in a good spot though. Because now, of course, they can just put the energy on Palkia and then kill Exeggutor, but then we just get to go into Celebi and knock them out. Unless we get, like, we got lucky 2 times this game with the heads. It's possible that Celebi flips 3 tails. I actually had a game earlier today where I was playing this deck and I flipped... At one turn, I had 3 energy on Celebi. I got 3 tails. And then the next turn, I had 4 energy. I got 1 heads out of 4. So in 7 flips, I got 6 tails and 1 heads. So that can totally happen. That doesn't matter. Sure. Okay, that's great. Those are actually good cards. Okay, they're going to kill... Oh, you know what? I always forget it does 20 to the bench, too. It's probably not going to matter, but I always forget that. And like I said, hey, like, we could still lose this game. Like, I wouldn't put it past the universe to have me lose 3 flips here, and then my opponent plays Misty and puts 3 energy on Palkia and wins the game. I would not put it past the world to do that to me. So let's find out what happens here. Okay, cool. We're good. All right. Yeah, a little quick game. We got a couple quick games here today, but I really wanted to show off this deck. And yeah, I think this deck is really good. There's definitely room for improvement. You know, of course, if you have ideas or suggestions for how to improve this deck or what to do with this deck, feel free to let me know. And like I said, you can always make these decks your own. I really like showing off these decks that I brainstorm myself. I'm not saying like I'm the only person in the world who's thought of Celebi with Dawn or something like that, but I at least like want to try these things out. And that's how I enjoy playing this game, is like, I don't mind playing meta decks, but I also enjoy and get a lot of enjoyment out of building unique things by myself. So yeah, this is what I've settled on here. And yeah, I mean, it worked. It worked really well. Exeggutor is like an MVP here, and I really love how, again, Celebi is still a threat even without Serperior. Although, you're going to have games like the one I mentioned where you flip 3 tails and then you flip 3 tails out of 4, which can definitely happen. Now, as far as improvements, it's possible you want another copy of Leaf, or X Speed, but I think Leaf. I like Leaf because it can help you more easily retreat Exeggutor. Maybe if you really want to go all in, like I think Dawn is necessary because she's really good with Celebi. Maybe you could just go 1 Cyrus. Maybe you cut the Cape. Like Giant Cape really kind of didn't do anything in any of these games. There have been situations though where it's been super clutch on a Spiritomb though. So you never know. I guess it was technically kind of clutch in the early game, but either way. Like I guess one way that you could optimize the deck is you still want to play 2 Dawns and then maybe play like 1 to 2 Leafs and then 1 to 2 X Speeds, so that because then what you could do is like you can attack with Exeggutor in the early game, and then if you retreat Exeggutor for free by playing Leaf plus X Speed, for example, then you can switch into Celebi and then you can Dawn your energy that's on Exeggutor onto Celebi. So it's just like another free energy. That's something that you could think about if you really want to optimize like the moving energy around aspect. You could also cut Mew from the deck. There have been situations where I played this deck and Mew felt a little bit awkward, a little bit clunky, but like I said, Mew it kind of feels like a necessity in this meta because, you know, Charizard's not super common these days, but if you do run into it, obviously your deck is really bad against it. And with Moltres just sitting there, and Moltres is very difficult to kill, obviously, so it's really easy for them to just set up a Charizard, and then once they do that, it can just blast through your entire team. So having Mew as like a safety valve against a Charizard or a Palkia EX can be really, really helpful. So, because Palkia is another one where once they get it going, it is possible that it could just blast through your entire team or your entire deck. So yeah, stuff like that is worth keeping in mind. And I love me some Mew, right? So let me know in the comments what you think about this deck. Let me know if you have ideas to improve it. And if you have any suggestions for decks that you think I should play or try to build, let me know, because I don't mind playing meta decks, but like I said, I really enjoy trying to build my own decks. So have a great day. Thank you for watching and take care. I'll see you next time.